Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and we're going to be trying a new series today. I think I'm going to call it Knights of the Round Table, and it's basically going to be me discussing some of your comments on some of the videos. Like, this one's going to be discussing the It's Armageddon video from What If You Had to Give Up One Story from Each Series of Modern Doctor Who. Because I really like getting you guys involved in the videos. I very much enjoy that with the Face Off series, where after I talk about my thoughts, I read your comments. I think it's a great way to get y'all involved with the channel. And a lot of times in the comments, y'all are reacting to things I say, so this gives me an opportunity to react to things you say. And I like that. I think it could be a lot of fun. I think it could be interesting. And I think it's interesting how opinions can differ on Doctor Who. I mean, it would be so boring if everybody thought the same, if we all had the same opinions. I mean, it would just be an uninteresting conversation. So it's interesting to see people's different thoughts on things and react to that. Plus, I'm pretty sure we could get some nice humorous moments out of this as well. So, we're going to start with that, and we're going to look at that. And again, we're looking at some of the comments on It's Armageddon. What if you had to give up one story from each series of modern Doctor Who? And Sub-Zero X said my choices would be for Series 1, The Unquiet Dead, which I agree with because that one's terrifying. Series 2, Love and Monsters, which I understand as well. For 3, 42, which I believe is the one I picked. 4, The Doctor's Daughter. I can see that, even though I like that one. It's not great. The specials, Planet of the Dead. See, I don't get that one because Planet of the Dead is my favorite of the specials. I really like that one. I like the chemistry between Tennant and Michelle Ryan a lot. I probably would have given up Waters of Mars, but I know that's not a popular choice. Series 5 is The Lodger. I like The Lodger. It's not super great, but it has some humorous moments in it I enjoy. The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. It's really weird with Christmas specials in Modern Who to know if they count or not, but we'll allow that. 7A, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Yeah, I don't get into that one either. Now, here's an interesting one. Season 7B, he went with the Crimson Horror, and I love the Crimson Horror. It's silly fun. It is a nice filler episode where, I mean, it's not like City of Death or Genesis of the Daleks or Caves of Androzani, which has to be serious, which even though City of Death is silly, it's still very serious in places, in a strong episode. Crimson Horror is meant to be a filler fun episode like Unicorn and the Wasp, and I think it's fun for that. It has some really good roles in it. I mean, it has Diana Rigg in it. I love it for that. And, yeah, it's got some little amusing innuendos in there as well, which I like. Yeah, I have to keep that one. For number 8, they went with In the Forest of the Night. I can agree with that. That's the one I picked as well, although thinking back, I probably should have picked Kill the Moon, because that one's garbage, too. For Series 9, he went with Hell Bent, which I get. Series 10 was The Eaters of Light. That one does suck. 11 was the Sonara Conundrum. Isn't good. 12 is Timeless Children. Perfectly understandable. And then for the, didn't put anything for Flux, just went with Eve of the Daleks, which between Eve of the Daleks and Legends of the Sea Devils, I would have kept Eve of the Daleks. Legends of the Sea Devils isn't that great. Shamrock Particle said Series 1, Father's Day. The story sets up, then ignores its own setup just for a good cry on cue. Number 2 is Idiot's Lantern, proved the heavy-handed melodramatic garbage started long before Chibnall. 3, Gridlock. The Macra are nothing like their original, which they do address in the episode. I love Gridlock myself. It has some really powerful moments between Tennant and the Face of Bo at the end, and then the conversation between Tennant and Martha at the end when he tells her about Gallifrey. Those are powerful, powerful scenes to me. Number 4, the one with the bus in the desert with the literal bug-eyed monsters, or Tennant's finale. I enjoy both of those myself, although neither of those are technically Season 4. For Series 5, we went with The Beast Below. I actually really like The Beast Below. 6, any of them except Curse of the Black Spot or The Doctor's Wife. Maybe Closing Time. Closing Time's an odd one because I enjoy parts of Closing Time. It has some humorous moments in it, but the ending of Closing Time is terrible. Number 7 is Nightmare in Silver. Fair enough. Number 8 is any except Flatline or Time Heist. Or if one, Kill the Moon. I can see Kill the Moon. Although I would think you should also want to say Mummy on the Orient Express. That's a good one. Number 9, any but the Forest story gets brownie points for utter stupidity unworthy of sci-fi. Oh, in other words, he could get rid of any of them, but the Forest story is the worst. Technically, that's a Season 8 story. A Series 8 story. But apparently he doesn't like Series 9 at all, which it is mostly garbage. Heaven Sent's great. The late two-parter's great. Number 10, is he went with Oxygen or Eaters of Light. It's nice to see someone else that doesn't like Oxygen, because I think Oxygen's terrible. 11, All, but It Takes You Away. I don't really care for It Takes You Away either. I'm happy with all of them. Or getting rid of all of them. You can take all of them. Although Ghost Monument's not bad. Number 12, Timeless Children. Oh yeah, such a horrendous ending. And a cliche one, since everyone has been off the deep end with elements of multiverse explaining it away. Keep Jo Martin's incarnation, as there are half a dozen ways to keep her in, and she deserves full recognition, and was more interesting than the War Doctor too. And Chibnall wrote her dialogue. He seems confused that Chibnall wrote her dialogue and pulled it off. And then for 13, went with all the Flux, which you kind of have to since it's all one story. Robert Dunlap says, can't we just give all of Jodie's seasons away and call it quits? Series 12 has some good stuff. I love that Tesla episode. Bananas Are Good says, the long game for Series 1, which is an understandable answer. Series 1 is hard, because I think all of the episodes are good. It doesn't have a bad episode. Series 2, New Earth, fair enough. That one's not that great. Series 3, Lazarus Experiment. I don't think it's like super great, but I still think it's a good episode. Again, Series 3 to me doesn't have a bad episode, but I don't think Lazarus Experiment's the worst myself. Series 4 is The Fires of Pompeii. Fair enough. That one's eh. Series 5, Vampires of Venice. I really enjoy that one myself. Series 6, Closing Time. Fair enough. Series 7, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Fair enough. Series 7B is Crimson Horror. Again, I don't get that. I love Crimson Horror. Series 8, The Caretaker and Kill the Moon. Those do both suck. Season 9, so many. The Girl Who Died. Yeah, that one's uninteresting. Aside from that moment when Capaldi realizes why he got his face, I love that scene. The rest of that two-parter is garbage. And yeah, Series 9 is the worst. Or not the worst, but it's terrible. Series 10, Empress of Mars. I really enjoyed that one. I love Empress of Mars. I think it's a great episode. Both the times these Ice Warriors have showed up in Modern Who I've liked, which most of the Ice Warrior stories in general I like. The Taping episode for Series 11, that one is awful. Series 12, he went with Timeless Children. And Series 13, of course, Flux. He said, chuck the lot into the Flux. I like that. Booker Lee says, combine them all together and get rid of Chibnall's reign. Again, I like some of Series 12. And at least in Flux, the Sultaran episode, episode 2, is pretty good. The Appies for Series 1 went The Long Game. Fair enough. Series 2, Fear Her. Yeah, Fear Her is awful. I agree with that. Series 3, The Lazarus Experiment. Series 4, The Doctor's Daughter. Series 5, The Beast Below. Series 6, Curse of the Black Spot, Night Terrors, and The Girl Who Waited. I like The Girl Who Waited. Although I also enjoy Curse of the Black Spot. Night Terrors is garbage, though. Season 7 is Dinosaurs on the Spaceship, The Power of 3, Hive, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, and Nightmare in Silver. Power of 3 is not great, but it has some moments. And I actually do really enjoy Hive. I've talked about that before. Series 8, Kill the Moon, and In the Forest of the Night. I agree. Series 9, Sleep No More. Sleep No More, to me, is decent. I have a better appreciation for it after last time I watched it. It's still not, like, super great. But it does some really neat ideas. I just wish it had been executed better. It's got some really good concepts going on there. Series 10, Knock Knock. I need to rewatch that one. I have not watched Knock Knock since it aired. I watched it the one time, I think. I don't think I've ever gone back and rewatched it. It's kind of a forgettable story for me. Series 11 has a lot of them on it. Fair enough. Series 12 was Orphan 55 and Timeless Children. Fair enough. And Series 13 was Once Upon a Time, Survivors of the Flux, and the Vanquishers. The Strange Light Bulb says Boomtown. I like Boomtown. Boomtown does a really good job of alternating between being funny and serious. Sometimes very close together, like when the Doctor and the Slovene are having dinner together. Parts of that are really funny. Parts of that are deadly serious. And it intercuts that really well. Series 2, Fear Her. I agree. Series 3, 42. I agree. Series 4, Planet of the Ood. Yeah, that one's kind of in the middle of the pack for me as well. Series 5, Vincent and the Doctor. Oh, it is so wonderful to have someone else to put that on the list. You guys know I'm not a big fan of Vincent and the Doctor. So knowing there's one other person at least that if they had to give away one episode of Series 5, it would be Vincent and the Doctor. That makes my day. That makes my day, knowing there's somebody else that's like, to that one. Series 6, Curse of the Black Spot. I enjoy that myself, but it is one of those only watch it on rare occasions. I've only watched it like once in the past 10 years. Series 7 is Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. That's on these lists a lot. Series 8, In the Forest of the Night. Series 9, Sleep No More. Series 10, Oxygen. Nice to see someone else that agrees with me on Oxygen. Series 11, The Sanundra Conundrum. Series 12, Can You Hear Me? I don't like Can You Hear Me either. Nettie Stark says, here we go. The Long Game. Horrible Who, one of the very worst. I wouldn't go that far. Number 2 is Fear Her. And he goes, now this is the worst. That's understandable. I'll go with that. 42, Snoresville. Fair enough. The Doctor's Daughter, brutally boring. Planet of the Dead, Who by the Numbers. I like Planet of the Dead. Number 5 is The Lodger. James Gordon's in it. Number 6, Closing Time. James Gordon's in it. That's funny. Number 7, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Classic Chibnall garbage. Number 8, Forest of the Night. Ye gods, this is crap. Goes Sleep No More. Sleep Plenty More like. Number 10 is The Eaters of Light. Rubbish. Number 11 is The Battle of Rancor. Av. Kolos. Chibnall's going for the throat on this one. Orphan 55. And any boat. Benny! Agreed. Series 13, Flux. All of it is utter tripe. Naomi Penelope McCarthy says, here is my list. The Long Game. Again, we've seen that one a lot. Love and Monsters. Human Nature and the Family of Blood. Midnight. It's nice to see someone else have Midnight on their list. Of all the stories in Series 4 they would get rid of, Midnight. How many people would put that? I don't even think I put that. I think I went with Turn Left. But it's nice to know there's someone else that thinks Midnight is overrated. I enjoy that. Waters of Mars, the Starship UK, which is obviously The Beast Below. Night Terrors. Yeah, I don't like Night Terrors either. I think I've only watched that episode once or twice. It's hot garbage. The Power of Three, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. I don't like Journey to the Center of the TARDIS either. My least favorite of that, of Season 7B. Number 8 is Listen. It's nice to see someone else that agrees with me of Listen, because Listen is not good. Number 9 is Sleep No More. I feel like that one is on the list more than it should be. There's plenty of stories in Series 9 that's worse. Series 10 is Oxygen. Nice to see that on there. Series 11 is It Takes You Away. Series 12 is Can You Hear Me? I actually like Can You Hear Me. The ending is a bit rushed in Deus Ex Machina, but before that, it's really good. Series 13 is Once Upon a Time, and I have not seen the specials, and I think she made an alteration in hers. Oh, yeah, she said, Shamrock actually says, in addition to that, he goes, I forgot about The Long Bore and Love and the Fan Base. Good list. Funny. And then, here's where Naomi wrote. She goes, I'm rethinking Love and Monsters. Yes, the ending is really bad, but most of the episode is about Doctor Who fans. She replaced it with another one. What was it? So I'm taking Love and Monsters off and putting Idiot's Lanterns on. I'm going to be honest, I like Idiot's Lantern better than Love and Monsters. Although Idiot's Lantern's not great. It's one of those watch it once every 10 years stories. Blair Who says, I can't pick just one. It says, I just can't pick one for Series 1. He can't pick one for Series 1, which is fair. Series 1 is all good. Keep in mind, you're dooming the world, though, when to do that. Series 2 is Fear Her. Series 3 is 42. I see 42 a lot on here, which is the one I picked, too. Fair enough. 4 is The Doctor's Daughter. 5 is Generally Can't Pick One. 6 is Closing Time. 7 is Hyde. I don't get that. I love Hyde. I love how Hyde changes genre mid-episode and pulls it off. The genre is really jumping around in that one. Number 8 is Kill the Moon. Number 9 is The Magician's Apprentice and Witch's Familiar, which is my least favorite Dalek story. Craps over the ending. I mean, the ending's just junk. The 10 is Return of Dr. Mysterio. Again, that's a special. I don't know how I'd count that. 11 is Arachnids in the UK or the Sanundras, something or another. Take them both, that'll save Series 1. That'd be a fun bargaining posture. 12 is Ascension of the Cybermen. I actually like that one. And 13 is The Vanquishers. Stephen Crane, one of my top tier patrons, says, you can have every single episode after Series 4, even with the regeneration cop-out. Even though it pains me to leave out the flame-haired Angel Amy, I just cannot stand Rory. So basically, Stephen says they can take everything after Series 4. But he doesn't tell me what his one episode he'd get rid of for Series 1, 2, 3, and 4 is. I felt the extension of Tennant's run with the abortive regeneration was a sop to the fans, he says. Interesting. Other Games says, I'm surprised you didn't want to get rid of Kill the Moon from Series 8. And that's a good point. My actual reaction to that was, now that you mention it, I think I just wasn't thinking of it when I was making the list. That is a very good point. Lance says, I would gladly pay the aliens to take the whole Chibnall era and the episodes he wrote, like 42 Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, Cold Blood, in exchange for Power of Kroll's safe return. That's an heresy. Besides, Series 12 had some good episodes like the Tesla one. I don't know. I think they could have Power of Kroll as well. Nikayako, another one of my old school regulars, says, Series 1, Father's Day. That's an interesting choice. You don't see that one a lot. Series 2, Fear Her, Idiot's Lantern, and Love and Monsters I give on top for free. Number 3, The Lazarus Experiment. Again, I enjoy that one. Series 4 is Turn Left. I think that's what I'd pitch. It's nice to see someone agree with me on that. The 2009 special is The End of Time. That one's kind of surprising. Series 5 is the Hungry Earth two-parter. Yeah, it's not great. Series 6 is Let's Kill the German Guy. I don't know if YouTube will let me say that. Which is fair enough. That one's not good. Series 7 is The Rings of Akatan. That one is kind of boring, aside from Matt's great speech. Series 8 is In the Forest of the Night, and I give Kill the Moon and Robots of Sherwood. It's not what he wrote. On top. But I like Robots of Sherwood. I actually think that one's, while it definitely has its issues objectively, it's funny, so I enjoy it. Series 9, Hellbent. Series 10 is the Monk trilogy. Fair enough. And then Series 11 through 13, he says the whole lot. Not Art the Green Wolf says, so a lot of time has passed, still only barely touched the Chibnall run, but I'll talk about Series 1 through 10. So Series 1, The Long Game. Series 2, Fear Her or Idiot's Lantern. Series 3, Lazarus Experiment. Series 4, he had a little more trouble with, but he said, I'll go for the Unicorn and the Wasp. Series 5, Beast Below. And he says, and I know you'd only choose Vincent and the Doctor to piss people off. No, I picked Vincent and the Doctor because I don't really care for that story. The pissing the people off part's just the cherry on top. It's not the best Matt Smith story ever. It's just an amazing one. I don't agree. It has some amazing moments in it, though. I will admit that. It does have some amazing moments in it. Series time. Series 6 is closing time just because of the fact James Gordon ruined the Cybermen. That is a terrible ending. Series 7 is The Bells of St. John, which you guys know I actually love The Bells of St. John. Series 8, they went with Kill the Moon. Series 9, Sleep No More. And he picked that one just because he actively hates that one. It has elements I like. I love the idea of the creature, the sleep in your eye. That's a fantastic concept and idea. Series 10 was really hard because he loves almost every story in it. But if he had to choose, he said it would be Knock Knock. And I really need to rewatch Knock Knock myself. Henry Andrews said, these aliens sound like the worst beings in the universe. Series 11 on loop, that's torture. Exactly. He said Series 1, The Unquiet Dead, because it feels the most standalone of Series 1. Series 2, Fear Her. Series 3, 42. Chibnall. I keep forgetting Chibnall wrote that, but it explains a lot. Series 4, Turn Left, he wrote I'm Glad We Agree. Specials, he went with The Waters of Mars. I feel like it drags slightly, and I love the other specials. Same here. Series 5, Vincent and the Doctor. I just don't get the hype. The message is great, but still. Exactly. It's nice that I have seen Vincent and the Doctor on at least 2 lists. That's making my day. Series 6, Night Terrors. Series 7A, Dinosaurs on the Spaceship. Series 7B, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. I just didn't like the concept. The Smith specials, they went with A Christmas Carol. I love A Christmas Carol myself. Michael Gambon. You gotta love some Michael Gambon. Series 8, In the Forest of the Night, easily. Series 9, The Girl Who Died, The Woman Who Lived. Shieldor just really irritates me. Same. Series 10, Oxygen, if I had to pick one. The Capaldi specials, he went with Last Christmas, because it is hot garbage. Series 11, all of it. Series 12, Timeless Children. Series 13, all of it. And her special is Legend of the Sea Devils. I agree with that. One of my fellow YouTubers, Paul Bailey, says, Series 1, Boomtown. I love Boomtown. I do. Series 2, Fear Her. Series 3, 42. Series 4, The Unicorn and the Wasp. I like The Unicorn and the Wasp. Again, like Crimson Horror. Fun filler episode. Lots of humor in it. Plus, it has one of the Classic Who actors. The one that played Jago. And I believe he also plays Sir Keith in Inferno. It has him in it. And I love when they sneak in Classic Who actors. Series 5, Amy's Choice. And it's nice to see that one make the list, because I don't like that one either. Series 6, Night Terrors. Series 7, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. Series 8, I said Let's Kill the Moon. But maybe he means both of those episodes. Or The Forest of the Night. Series 9, Sleep No More. Series 10, Oxygen. Oxygen's been on these lists more than I thought, which I like. Series 11, The Bad Last Episode. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, it's a dumb name. Series 12, Praxius. I don't hate Praxius. I just think it's utterly forgettable and boring. But it does some things I like. I like how it handles the same-sex relationship in it. I think it does that really well. Much better than what's going on with the 13th Doctor and Yaz right now. Which I don't think is handled well. And then for Series 13, he picked Once Upon a Time. Mark Harris says The Long Game, Fear Her, Gridlock. I love Gridlock. The Doctor's Daughter, Vampires of Venice, which I also enjoy. The Doctor's Wife, which I also enjoy, but I don't go back and watch it very often. Nightmare in Silver, and then he wrote Guess Who Can't Stand the Gaiman episodes. Kill the Moon, The Zygon Nonsense. And you know what? I'm not a big fan of the Zygon two-parter either. I love the speech. The speech is amazing, but God, that two-parter is a bore to get through. And he goes, Guess Who Can't Stand the Harness episodes? Clueless, both of them. The Pyramid at the End of Good Lord, Look Who It Is. I'm not actually sure who wrote that one either, but I'm guessing Harness maybe. 11 is Arachnids in the UK, though I thought I was giving up the will to live, just spider me to death. It says 12, I honestly can't decide between Orphan 55 and Timeless Children. Both gratuitously offensive. Yeah, especially the Timeless Children. I think it's very offensive to classic Who fans. And 13, haven't watched it, never will. Stephen Thomas says the World War III two-parter. It's interesting. We don't see that one pop up in Series 1 much. Love and Monsters, The Lazarus Experiment, The Poison Sky two-parter, the Sultan one. Interesting. I don't see that one a lot either. Number 5, he went with the Vincent Van Gogh, and then he writes sorry in parentheses. That's weird. He must not realize I don't like Vincent and the Doctor. It's nice to see that one on another list. Closing Time, Dinosaurs on the Spaceships, Into the Woods. I guess that one's Forest of the Night, maybe? Sleep No More, Thin Ice. What? Thomas, Thin Ice. I love Thin Ice. Thin Ice is my second favorite Capaldi episode. Behind Heaven Sent. I love Thin Ice. It's done so well. You really feel like you're in that period setting. I adore Thin Ice. It's one of my favorite Series 10 episodes. Easily. Well, it is my favorite Series 10 episode. And my second favorite Capaldi episode. I don't understand why that one's on the list. Number 11, Demons of the Punjab. Number 12, Can You Hear Me? I like Can You Hear Me. And number 13 is Once Upon a Time. And even here, I'm like, don't apologize. I'm not a fan of Vincent and the Doctor either. His response is, thank God I'm not the only one. And I was like, yeah, it's so overrated. He goes, most overrated Smith story, easily. And he wrote, yeah, I know. I was just bored, to be fair. Cinema Goose says, my subjective list, The Unquiet Dead, The Idiot's Lantern, The Shakespearean Code. I really enjoy The Shakespearean Code. I think it's an underrated episode. I have a lot of fun with that one. The Doctor's Daughter, Planet of the Dead. I've already mentioned I love Planet of the Dead. Vampires of Venice, Night Terrors, Asylum of the Daleks. That's one we haven't really seen on the list, Asylum of the Daleks. Now, to be fair, Asylum of the Daleks is a very flawed episode. The premise of the Daleks even having an asylum is silly and doesn't make sense. You figure the Daleks would just destroy defective Daleks, not put them in an asylum. But if you can look past the fact that it doesn't make sense, it's a fun episode. I enjoy it. The way they snuck Clara in as odd one right there. Nobody knew that was going to happen. The twist of her fate is really well done and left us with a lot of questions going into the holiday special. So I actually think that was done really, really well. Plus it has some humorous moments in it. That's your plan. You're going to fire me at the planet. Well, it is usually how you don't compliment the Daleks when they're firing me at a planet. So I still find it very enjoyable. The Crimson Horror. What? Robots of Sherwood. Again, what? I love Robots of Sherwood. Yeah, objectively it doesn't make a lot of sense, and the ending is Deus Machina with the arrow, but it's silly. I love watching grumpy 12th Doctor act extremely childish in this episode. I love it. Smile. I enjoy Smile. Arachnids in the UK. We agree. That one's terrible. Last thing I need is British people trying to tell me about Trump. Number 12 is Can You Hear Me? I like that one. And Once Upon a Time 13. And that basically covers it. That's kind of your thoughts on there. So it's interesting being able to look at some of the choices you made and react to that. And some of them I can agree with. Some of them I'm like, what were they thinking? Crimson Horror? What? I don't get that. So many worse episodes that season. But it's neat looking at that and seeing the differences of opinion and seeing that and having fun with that. And seeing a lot of the episodes that show up a lot, like 42 and Fear Her, or like Series 1 long games on there. Like, you know, a lot of the same ones keep popping up. But it was really interesting seeing, like, Vincent and the Doctor pop up on 3 other people's list. Wow, that makes my day. It's nice to know I'm not the only one that looks at that episode and goes, what's with the hype? It's overrated. It is overrated. So I very much enjoyed that. I think I'll do, if y'all enjoy this, I think I'll do some more of these. I think they can be a lot of fun. So if you've enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you would click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. Click the like button. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me that way. There is a link to that down in the description below. I also have my P.O. box located down there as well, and also a link to my Amazon wish list if there's anything you would like to send me off that. I update it regularly. Most importantly though, thank you for watching.